Hello, I'm Patrick McGuire with the Association of Clean Water Administrators. I'm here with Christiana Teig-Witherell of Willamette Partnership to talk to you about how we address trading baseline in our water quality trading toolkit. Willamette Partnership and Aqua developed the toolkit to provide a series of templates for states and organizations seeking to create a water quality trading program. The templates are designed to make it faster and easier for states that choose to use trading to issue policy documents around it. The toolkit templates were built to follow along with the report by the National Network on Water Quality Trading, Building a Water Quality Trading Program, Options and Considerations. The Options and Considerations report provides a summary of all the program design questions that states will face, options for how to address them, and examples of how other states have addressed them in their permits and policies. Check out our other videos for more information on water quality trading and a deep dive into what each of the toolkit templates covers, how to use them, and an example of how they could be applied. In this video, we're talking about one key aspect of any water quality trading program or policy: trading baseline requirements. We'll cover common ways of establishing and expressing baseline and considerations for timing and scale of baseline application. The trading baseline sets a minimum level of activity or environmental performance that a project developer has to meet before being eligible to sell credits in a trading program. Baseline is often controversial and can be a barrier to broad support for trading or even the source of legal challenges.
Non-point source baselines need to be informed by regulatory requirements, TMDL obligations, and any obligations of the trading program itself. If these expectations aren't clear up front, the baseline level conversation can be challenging. Regulatory requirements generally form the foundation of any trading baseline. Because a trading program is usually applied on top of an existing regulatory framework, those requirements must be met before credits can be generated. For example, if state law requires riparian pastures to exclude animals from surface waters, then having streamside fencing in place would be necessary to meet regulatory requirements and would not be a best management practice eligible to generate credits. Where there is a TMDL in place, non-point source pollutant reduction should be greater than those established under the TMDL. Establishing a trading baseline that accounts for non-point source obligations under a TMDL helps ensure that credits generated from non-point sources exceed those that are expected under the TMDL at the time of the proposed trade. In some cases, like where TMDL load allocations are hard to translate into site-specific requirements, a trading program may establish its own set of requirements as part of the trading baseline. These requirements may reflect stakeholder views on the role of non-point source sectors in reducing pollutant loading, or seek to avoid penalizing early adopters of conservation practices. Trading baseline can affect a program's viability. If the baseline is set too high, it may be difficult to achieve load reductions at a reasonable cost, limiting the supply of credits available. If the baseline is set too low, it may raise questions about whether the program is helping to achieve overall water quality goals. Ultimately, improving water quality is the goal and must inform all baseline decisions. The Options and Considerations report provides a flowchart to walk you through how to consider regulatory requirements, TMDLs, and other watershed goals when setting baseline.
Now that we know how baselines are established, let's cover how they're implemented. States that establish baselines in their trading programs have generally taken three approaches to expressing baseline requirements.
A technology or practice-based baseline is a minimum set of best management practices that must be in place before credits can be generated. A performance-based baseline sets a level of environmental performance that must be achieved before a landowner is eligible to trade. In lieu of requiring a set of practices or level of environmental performance, some programs have opted to create a standard water quality contribution ratio that retires a certain percentage of all credits towards meeting water quality goals. See the Options and Considerations guide for pros, cons, and examples of these different options.
Timing of meeting the trading baseline differs among programs. Programs may struggle with whether baseline must be met prior to generating credits, or whether a landowner who does not currently meet baseline might simultaneously undertake actions to meet baseline and generate credits. Most trading programs allow landowners to meet baseline and generate credits simultaneously. For example, if a landowner must implement a nutrient management plan to be eligible for the trading program, they may implement the plan in the same year they install a credit-generating practice like a riparian buffer.
The scale at which baseline is applied is a common issue in trading programs. Would a landowner need to meet baseline on an entire farm or only on individual fields? What if they own more than one operation? These questions are getting at the issue of leakage. Leakage in environmental markets is where environmental improvement happens in one location at the expense of environmental degradation somewhere else. For instance, if a landowner meets baseline on one part of their operation by reducing manure applications, but then increases manure applications on other parts of their operation, there is potentially no net benefit. There are several options for which scale to apply trading baselines. Option 1. Baseline eligibility can be determined on a field-by-field basis without considering the larger operation. Option 2. Credits can only be generated if the entire farm is in compliance with baseline. Option 3. Credits cannot be generated until the entire sector within the sub-watershed has demonstrated compliance with its baseline obligations. See the Options and Considerations Guide for pros, cons, and examples of these different scales. One of the reasons that baseline can be challenging is that it touches so many different parts of the Clean Water Act. It relates to the basic premise of how the Clean Water Act treats point sources versus non-point sources, how load and waste load allocations are set under a TMDL, and how successfully the non-point source portions of a TMDL have been implemented. Baseline can be seen as a proxy for either perpetuating or addressing decisions made at all these other stages of implementing the Clean Water Act. In the Water Quality Trading Toolkit templates, we present a way to navigate policy and program design considerations. There is also often a social component. Those designing a trading program may want to plan some extra time to discuss this thorny issue and come to agreement with the other important stakeholders.
We hope you found this overview of trading baseline helpful. For more information on baseline and other key aspects of water quality trading, download the Water Quality Trading Toolkit templates online at the AQUA website. And look for the Options and Considerations Guide at nnwqt.org. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series.